Well, thank you. I appreciate you all inviting me to come down and participate in this, wonderful opportunity to talk about something that's really passionate. I have a lot of passion for, and something that I've been working on for quite a long time now. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about me and why this is so important to me. And then I'll talk a little bit about impact, the importance of impact and how the arts sort of shapes that. So I was born and raised in Richmond, California. So I'm no stranger to, poverty, crime, and so forth and so on. And my way of getting out of the community was basketball. And through that experience of playing basketball, that allowed me to get a scholarship to the University of Washington in Seattle and to get out and explore and learn new things. Throughout that time, I learned a very valuable life lesson. I was projecting myself to make it to the NBA just like most inner city kids that are playing basketball and had a little bit of success. But after my first couple of years in college and not taking it seriously, thinking I was going to make it to the NBA, I came to a realization that that might not be an opportunity that I'll be able to take part in. So what that left me with was really sort of this void. I had something that I'd been working on for a very long time, something that was really passionate for me in my life growing up. And all of a sudden, I'm coming to the realization that I might not be able to pursue it as a profession. One of the things that I look back on now and really look at how life sort of happens and shapes the way you enter life and you get through things in your life. I look back at when I was a kid, I used to always like to draw, and I used to doodle a lot. But I never thought of it as a real profession. Everybody in my neighborhood was either involved in sports or music, and no one was doing anything related to the arts. So for me, arts was not something that I took seriously, and I can admit that now. But after being in school for 2 years, and not doing well in school and anticipating making it to the NBA and not getting that opportunity to really get a chance to play or be successful in playing basketball on the college level, I had to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And lo and behold, I'd never forget this day. I was searching for something to do because I had to figure out something. I was getting a 4-year scholarship to a school, and I had nothing at that point, but I knew that I needed to get that degree. So my mother and I were looking through a catalog, and she literally just looked through various different professions, and she found graphic design, and she said, you know what, you were young, you used to like to draw, you should just at least try it. I mean, and we none of us knew what it was. We just said, okay, I don't know what else I'm going to do. I'll just, show up. The interesting thing about it is that at the University of Washington, where I went to school at, to get into the school, you have to compete with 150, 200 students for 20 seats in the graphic design department. And here I am, a guy who knows nothing about graphic design, never heard of it before. I showed up to this class, and I took this class, and my whole life changed from that class. So, forward 10, 15 years, I finish, get my BFA in graphic design. I go on to play professional basketball in Europe for 7 years. Wow. I come back, I get my master's degree in design, and now I'm working, and then so after getting my master's degree and during that time, I reflect back on all the experiences that I had as a young person growing up in Richmond and seeing, poverty and seeing my friends, go through a lot of different things. I decided that I wanted to start a program to teach kids design at a very young age. So I started Inneract Project for that reason. And the whole premise behind the program is simply to educate young people about careers in design. So we do a gamut of different things. We have education, obviously, and we have classes where we solicit designers from various different professions: graphic design, interactive, industrial, architecture, you name it, costume design, fashion design. We want to bring in all different types of designers from all different disciplines so that they can tell their story. They can teach kids for free, all our classes for free, and that we can give them an opportunity to learn about design at a young age so that they can do something with that. And we know statistically that by giving kids at a very young age, particularly middle school kids, education, we know that we set them up for success in life. That's a fact. So now, moving forward, I graduate and start this program. Simultaneously while I'm working on this program, I'm also started off working in advertising at a company called Butler Shine Stern and Partners, and I worked on everything from, design for Nike, Priceline.com, Greyhound branding projects, and then went on to work at Pentagram Design, which for some of you who don't know, is one of the biggest design consultancies around, and they have offices all over. And then from there, I went on to work at Yahoo for a little bit. And you talk about the importance of the arts, the visual arts. And one of the things that's really important to me, not only in career but also in personal with Inneract Project, the things I do, I'm working with generally diverse bodies of people. And my focus is really trying to get inner city kids interested in on a pathway to design. The important part of this is that visual culture shapes the way that cultures understand themselves and how they see themselves and how they relate to the things that are around them. Visual arts is very important. And I see this all the time. I see this in the kids that I work with. They're influenced by the things that they see around them. So if you look at kids in the community and you wonder why, they're getting the things that they're doing, they're seeing these things. So part of my job as a designer and the things that I do when I'm working with designers is I'm always trying to build creative opportunities for kids to understand the power of being able to shape and use design to communicate something, not only just for job's sake, but to communicate something for their own community. What does that mean? So working at Yahoo and now working at Microsoft, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the process of design because it reaches so many things. And I want to make sure that kids really understand, like, from the time that you wake up to the time you go to bed, you are interacting with something that someone has designed for you. And at Yahoo, we were working on websites and apps, mobile apps that touches millions of people throughout the world. And it's very important when we're working on these experiences that designers understand and shape the way people understand information, that they can find information. So this is very important. Stepping back a little bit and looking at the landscape of where we are in California or even throughout the world, we know for sure that there are, a growing population of African Americans and Latinos population. It's growing. We also know that creative opportunities are becoming in demand now. So I look at the opportunity as not only just furthering myself in my program and making sure that kids are, getting access to these opportunities, but also providing programming so that it teaches young people and lets young people see people of authority or people that are designing things that we see every day, and knowing where they're coming from and what is their process. So, for example, we might bring in a guy who designed the Jordan 21-22 shoe. Now, think about what that means to a kid, to be able to see a designer that has designed a shoe that they wear and understand what is the process and how that connection to career is solidified. Imagine also someone who is, working at Apple, who's designing things like iPhones and whatnot, or even something simple as a sound designer or a costume designer, and how that impacts the things that they interact with every day. So, in closing, I think one of the most important things I want to sort of communicate about my role and the things that I like to see and what I'm excited about is, how do we bring design to the bigger discussion? Because it is something I've been working on for a very long time, and for a very long time it's been sort of this profession that in a lot of ways is very transparent. It's like we see it in front of us, but we don't see it in front of us, right? We interact with it every day, and because things are working and things are right, we don't take note of its value and what it really does for our lives, right? So that said, I'll close on that and just want to, make sure that you guys really know that we are working extremely hard at Inneract Project to bring focus to design careers, because we know 100% without a doubt that there are hundreds of thousands of opportunities out there for kids, and they are not getting it in education. And we are working in schools, we are working outside of schools, we are working on documentaries, we're working on interviews, we're working on studio tours, we're working on everything that we can so that kids have access to this. And I think in doing so, we want to make sure that kids moving forward have these opportunities that add to, the report. It's like these kids are contributing to the economy, to innovation. It's so important. But we're not getting that in the schools. So I have design professionals that I work with through the curriculum that we have, and we're basically going into schools for free, giving our time to go in there to talk about what design is and actually teach kids physical skills about how to use Illustrator, how to design cars, or how to design posters, logos, mobile apps, all these different things. And I'm honored to be in the presence of you all to really talk about this. Something I can talk about this all day. I'm really passionate about it, as you can see. But I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to sort of testify and give my thoughts on this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for coming in. Also, thank you so much for all you're doing for our young people, who, many of whom, as you mentioned, are in challenging circumstances, and I just really appreciate it. So let's now. Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
All right. I also wanted to add and thank my appreciation for you to come over here and share your personal story is really, really powerful. Very much appreciated. Question is, which position you play for the Huskies?
I played center and forward.
Center and forward.
Yes.
And I was also looking at your bio. You work for Microsoft and currently working for Microsoft, yes, and has used his spare time to be the ED of the Inneract project?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 2 full-time jobs, but when you're passionate about something and you figure out a way to make it work.
Thank you very much for all you do to the inner city kids.
Thank you.
And I also want to have a shout out for Microsoft for allowing their employees to, engage with the community and program like yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much.